we just don't consider Russia to be an enemy of West and Middle Central Europe. Of course, in the media discourse where you just have black and white, this is enough to make us Putin's friend. No. Of course, Russia is not a democracy, and the political system in Russia is not what we want. But we have had good economic relations with Russia over decades.
Germany is preparing for a general election after the collapse of the coalition led by Olaf Scholz of the Social Democratic Party, who are broadly centre-left. Polls suggest the opposition parties of the right will perform best at the elections, but what defines the right is not so straightforward. Germany's traditional centre-right party, the Christian Democratic Union, the party of Angela Merkel, are currently leading the polls, but not far behind them are the AfD, the Alternative for Germany, the insurgent party, who are often described as far-right. Now, is that a fair characterisation? And if they got a strong result in the election, what would that mean for Germany and beyond? Hans Neuhoff is an AfD politician and a member of the European Parliament. Good afternoon.
Hello to London from Bonn.
So, Mr. Neuhoff, do you accept the far-right label? Is that something you actually embrace?
No, certainly not. I think the best way to describe the political positions of the Alternative for Germany as a conservative, patriotic party. Whatever defines far right is not pertinent to AfD. We have made that clear time and again. But the mainstream media and also the public media are, of course, trying to demonize AfD as a return even of the NSDAP, which is absurd, obviously, just in order to justify the firewall, the roadblock which has been established to our party.
So let's just examine that for a second in terms of your own politics. Would it be fair to say that you think there's a biological component to German ethnicity? You've said Germany's strength lies in its roots. It lies in the German blood that is connected to the soil. Without these roots, we lose our identity. Is that a reasonable description of your general view?
No, it is not. There's no biological basis as such. What makes a person, a German person, is the culture. First of all, the language, of course, but the overall setup of the culture. So the example that I normally use with my students is that I make clear that the language anybody speaks is not biologically based. Not a single word of our vocabulary, of the language of our mother tongue, is genetically determined. Any child learns the language to which it is exposed by its environment. So it's through cultural learning that belonging to a culture and to a nation is determined. And what we do have, of course, is a covariation. For example, with the color of the skin. That is obvious. That is, some cultures developed in some certain regions of the world where the exposure to the sun made for the development of a dark skin color, which protects again strong sun influence. So we have that covariation, but this is not a determination. So anybody also with a different skin color than the white color can become a German.
So I should tell you that I'm a son of a woman born in Berlin and the grandson of somebody who believed very strongly that his Germanness and his Jewishness belonged together. That indeed, actually, there was something, quite German about Judaism and quite Jewish about Germanness. Would that be a characterization you would recognize?
No.
You don't agree with that view?
No.
Right. So you're saying that you think that my grandfather was wrong to consider himself an ethnic German?
Well, it depends on how you understand an ethnic German.
Well, I'm just asking. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to establish. So you think that my grandfather's belief that his Germanness and his Judaism went together, that was wrong.
No, no, not necessarily, but it's not a determination. It's a coincidence which has historical roots, of course. But of course, there have been Jews in other parts of the world as well. And it's not that connection between a Jewishness and having been born in Germany that makes for his these are not dependent factors. These are independent factors, which of course can manifest themselves within a single person.
Right. So just him living in Germany would make him to you an ethnic German.
Not just living. The main factor is, in my view, the language, that you speak German and you understand German as your mother tongue. You know that cultures are very highly differentiated systems of meaning, as we all know. And it's only through language that you can inherit this system of meanings. And so it doesn't suffice to live on the ground here. No, you have to be part of the culture, and that can be the case even if you are if you have a different skin color. Look, my own wife stems from West Africa, and my children, they are how you say, métisses, or but they are Germans, and they consider themselves to be Germans, and they are patriots. In fact, this is their home country, this is their home language, and there's no problem whatsoever regarding their skin color.
Okay, let's move on to other elements that have caused this debate about AfD's positioning, and the other is the relationship with Vladimir Putin, who and AfD has often been described as having quite a sort of different attitude towards Putin's regime than has become mainstream in other parts of the right and other parts of mainstream sort of liberal democracies. They've even been described as Russia's best friends in Germany. Is that something you would accept? And is support for Vladimir Putin or sympathy for him a vote winner?
No, I'm grateful that you address this point so that I can correct some of the nonsense that is around in the media. We, as a political party, and this is also true for myself as a responsible for foreign policy, we just don't consider Russia to be an enemy of West and Middle Central Europe. Of course, in the media discourse where you just have black and white, this is enough to make us Putin's friend. No. Of course, Russia is not a democracy, and the political system in Russia is not what we want. But we have had good economic relations with Russia over decades. And as a matter of fact, the Russians never put any conditions on the economic exchange, especially regarding natural resources like gas. And so it was business. It was just business. And we think that the business relationship, the economic relationship with Russia should be reestablished as it has been before. That's all. And regarding the war in Ukraine, we indeed believe that a very important factor for this conflict, for this crisis, is the NATO expansion eastwards. So we have to come to a more balanced view regarding the conflict in Ukraine, and from that also the relationship to Russia.
If Elon Musk's endorsement comes with any money, would you accept it?
Excuse me?
If Elon Musk's endorsement of AfD came with a donation to the party, would you accept the donation?
But this is not allowed in Germany. It's not allowed to accept donations from foreigners.
Well, it isn't allowed in Britain. He doesn't seem to be stopping the debate taking place about that, but never mind. That is Hans Neuhoff, an AfD politician, a member of the European Parliament. Thank you for joining me on Times Radio.